help me grow the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Alright, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to cover scene lighting and also setting up the sky with procedural or custom skyboxes. So the first thing I want to cover is the directional light before we jump into the other lights. The directional light functions kind of like the sun. If you go to main assets and you select lighting, so you open up this drop down the lighting, directional light, and hit F on the keyboard. When you're in the viewport, it'll focus on that light. If you rotate this light, so if you hit E on the keyboard or select right here for the rotation tool, if you rotate, you'll see the shadows of the world move. And that's kind of how it functions like the sun. So that's a cool ability of this light, the directional light. Another thing you can do with all lights is you can change the color. So if I wanted to put red on everything, like my sun was really bright red, or had red lights in the scene, like a circus lighting or a show lighting, I could do that. I could also increase the intensity right here to really blow it out, or decrease it to make it darker. And even when I make it completely no intensity or completely dark on the lighting, it still isn't fully dark in the world. So there's a way to do that. I'll show you in a second, but just know if you turn down your lights and you don't do the other parts, it won't black out or make the world a dark scene or a nighttime scene. So you have to change this and change other settings. Now that we've covered all that, we can look at the other types of lights. Let me just undo to go back to our original settings on our light. Then we'll move over here just to show you the other two types of lights that are used in this template. So you can go to close these down with the arrows, and if you want to open them back up, you can. Just right here underneath everything, I'm going to right click, go to light, point light. And I'm going to lift this up so we can see it a little bit. Make sure it's actually over here. This is why you have to move around in the world to see where it is. Sometimes it'll create it behind things or far away. So I positioned it right here next to the player. If I increase the range of this light, you can't really see nothing yet, but if I increase the intensity and then I change the range, you'll see what's happening. The range is how far it reaches in the world. This sphere that's around it, that's where all the light is for this light. So if I increase the range, I'm expanding how far it can reach. And the intensity is how bright it is. Same thing, I can change the colors if I want and push color in this light as well. And this error right here doesn't really matter if you just drop it down to 0 on the multiplier. And I could add shadows, but normally I don't add shadows on all my lights. In games, there's a lot of visual manipulation to achieve what you want. And I don't like to use a lot of lights. I like to use less lights if possible, just to make it easier for a computer to handle it. But if you were to add a bunch of lights, you could, and you could put shadows on it as well, just changing right in here. You just have to make sure you update your actual target platform settings and your build settings to work with this, or otherwise you might not get the shadows you're looking for. Now, there's another type of light you can create, and this one's good for like lighting up an area, right? So intensity, and then you light up this whole area, like if you had a dance floor or something. But if I wanted a spotlight, more like a street light or a flashlight or something like that, I would go to light, right click in here, go to light, spotlight, and now I will have a light that we can see here. I'll just move it to where we can actually access it near the other one. Once we look at this light, we can see if I increase the range, it increases the distance of this cone. And if I increase the intensity so we can see it, you'll see it creates a light here, but it doesn't create light to the side of it unless it's inside the cone. So it's similar to the sphere on the other one, but this one's ability allows us to do things like having headlights that are looking forward and only touch the ground where like a headlight would hit as it broadcasts forward. So it's not creating like a circle on everything, but rather a cone shape. And you can also face it down. If you wanted to create something like a street light, you can increase the spot angle to increase how big the light is, like circular wise, like whatever it's pointed at. Here, I'll just make sure it's 90 degrees, so it's pointing straight down, up here. And then you can also increase the range or decrease the range to get it to only reach as far as you want it to. Intensity is the same thing, blown out or soft. Lower the indirect multiplier if you want to get rid of that error. You can add color as well. And yeah, those are the 3 main lights we use with this template. You can also change this to be mixed or baked as well, just like the other lights, but then you have to bake it into your scene. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll go over baking lights in another video, but for now, just know with real-time lights, you can actually do a lot. You just have to set everything up properly. And yeah, you have directional spotlight and point light, and that's how you use them to start creating scenes. You can also duplicate these. So if I were to move this over here and then hit Control D, I could duplicate the light if I wanted to have multiple lights. And there's an issue that can occur with lights. I'll just go over it real quick. Inside your settings, so if you go Edit, Project Settings, or if you want to get there from File, Build Settings, and then Player Settings, inside here, you can see your settings right here for your project. And you can change your quality to have more pixel lights right here. So pixel light count. If you notice you have like more lights than the number right here, and you turn this up, it'll accommodate those lights. But just realize the more pixel lights you have, the more it has to calculate lighting in the world. So be careful not to go too high. I find 11 to 20 works for me. But you do as you please. I'm just telling you to let you know that if your lights, if some of them are working and some of them aren't on, check right here in your project settings, quality, pixel lights. If this changes inside of Unity, you can always go to your project settings and then search for pixel light. So you can go pixel light out and hit enter, and it'll try to find that. It'll tell you it's in the qualities section. And if you get rid of this, it'll bring back all those other options. Just remember to get rid of it. So just know to increase your pixel light count if need be, if you have lights that aren't working or not showing up, like you're not seeing the actual light work and it has like a crossed out sign on it. But yeah, those are lights and that's how you use them. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you later.